Here for the men's basketball season preview is head men's basketball coach Dean Burrows. Now, Coach Burrows, your first season in the Atlantic East Conference. How are you feeling towards the new conference?
We're excited to be a part of the Atlantic East Conference, moving over from the CAC, where every night was a war. We're expecting the same thing when we move into the AEC, and it'll be a little bit different, a little bit of an adjustment, but something that we're looking very much forward to after we get through what we feel is a gauntlet of a non-conference schedule.
Before we get into a non-conference slate, let's look back at last season. Two all-CAC players, Brian Cameron, J.W. Lawson. J.W. graduated last season. Bring back Brian Cameron and also a bunch of returners. How are you feeling towards them?
Well, each team is different year in and year out, and thus far, one of the things that we've been very pleased with was our culture and the returners moving our culture forward. We still have Evan Anderson, Brian Cameron, Brandon Lewis, 3 starters from last year. Tyrone Craven was a starter for the better of 2.5 years and came in off the bench last year in situations, especially a Marymount game down there to bail us out. So, he's going to be back in that position. And Derek Charles moving into the vacancy that Paul Clemens left in the post. So we're feeling pretty good about our starting 5. Obviously that can change at any time. But then, adding to the depth, Terrence Braxton, who's been a part of the program now for multiple years, Christian Chaney, who is going to be looked upon to step in and give us some production this year. So all in all, we continue to work on building our depth and seeing what we can get out of these guys day in and day out.
You start off with Towson, and then you're going out to Ohio next couple weeks, and then you're also later in the year facing Princeton. So what do you like to do with this non-conference slate?
We try to challenge ourselves as much as we can in the non-conference in order to prepare us for what we feel is going to be a very good basketball league. I might sound biased, but I think the AEC is going to be, basketball is going to be the face of the AEC. That's just, again, my opinion. So we want to prepare ourselves and make sure we see multiple different types of styles of play before we get into that AEC schedule. So for different reasons, we got to go to different places, and that's fine. That's something our guys embrace. But at the end of the day, it gets back to creating what we call moments and memories for our guys and giving them the best experience we can at our level.
Any newcomers coming in that you, or somebody that's kind of been under the radar, you're looking to make an impact this year?
Well, I think right off the bat, Derek Charles, in terms of, we said he's going to move into that starting role, but that's well-deserved too. He's put in the work, his body, his shape. He's in the best shape he's been in since he's been here. His work ethic is second to none. Keeping him out of foul trouble and keeping him on the floor is something that we're going to have to all, as well as himself, continue to work on. Tolu Babalola is going to be another post presence at 6'7", and he's taken some steps forward that we're excited about. Then you also add in one of the freshmen from Florida, Mo Goyne, who's 6'5", 6'6", can really get up, athletic. He's finding out the difference between high school ball and the quickness and the physicality. TK Strobridge, who was a kid that we recruited out of high school from Biloxi, Mississippi. He was hurt for the better part of the fall in terms of conditioning and lifting, so he's a little bit behind in that regard, and he's starting to get that rust off and get back in the form and the shape. And once he does, I think he's going to be a key contributor as well for us. So
now let's talk about Towson coming up on Sunday. They had a tough game on Tuesday against Virginia. Was the number 1 seed last year before what happened. What are you looking to get out of that game?
We're showing up to compete. Our guys embrace these types of moments, and that's why we do it. As players, they want to see how they stack up against the quote-unquote best, and as coaches, that's the same thing with us. It's kind of hard to gauge based on, they played Virginia, who's number 5 in the country and one of the best defensive teams in the country. But right off the bat, the thing about Towson is how long they are, how physical and how strong they are, especially in the front court. And so they're young right now. They have 11 newcomers this year, 3 returners. But out of those 11 newcomers, a few have been in their program, so they understand their culture and whatnot. But it's going to be a physical grind, and they're going to look to, take some frustrations out on us probably, just like we're going to look to take some frustrations out on them from having to go against one another day in and day out to this point and get someone else in a different color uniform.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.